Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
8 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host BKP. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. It's now time for Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. I want to thank Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. Dr. Whaley, how are you today?
I'm great. We don't need a truck to put the light sun coming in on us today.
We don't have a sunshine problem this morning.
No, it's not. We should be here instead of at Sycamore Crossing today, I think.
Well, I rushed home yesterday afternoon, and I beat the rain on the lawnmower, so the grass is cut. I feel comfortable.
You cut the grass when the pollen count was 2,500 yesterday?
Yes.
Second highest pollen count since they've been counting the pollen, which began in 1976. And you cut the grass.
I have a personal battle with my lawn. It either gets in front of me or I get in front of it, and I can't let my lawn defeat me, and it will.
Did you wear a mask?
No, I did not.
Did you take a Claritin or anything?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
yes, I
all
did.
right. Good.
But I'm on the way home, and I said, I'm going to cut the grass, and somebody said to me, you better wear a mask. So I heard that, and I did.
You know, I got a patient that said he had to get out of there yesterday because he was going to play 9 holes of golf before the rain. So he played 9 holes of golf while you were cutting the grass. Now, which one was doing a better job, huh?
No, I enjoy cutting the grass. It's a strange kind of
silence.
silence.
All right. Well, he enjoyed playing 9 holes of golf. Whatever floats your boat,
Well,
BKP.
I just don't understand why he got out of there to play 9. You got to go play 18.
No,
but if you get 9 in, you get 9 in.
Not if it's gonna rain. All right, go ahead. All right. So anyway, that's the pollen count in Blue Ridge, and it's raining today.
Yes, yes, the pollen count. That's the yellow on the hood of your car, and as soon as you go through the car wash, an hour later it's yellow again.
Yeah, and your driveway's green. Go ahead.
Exactly.
All right.
I underwent a modified radical neck dissection after being diagnosed with neck cancer. I lost feeling on the left side of my neck, head, tongue, and shoulder. I have no sense of taste and have difficulty swallowing. Will the feeling and sense of taste return?
I don't know. Hey, like that one. Well, okay. You want to go to the next one? No. I'm kidding. Put up that introduction slide, will you? What I've asked for you is, I don't want to know your age and menopausal status and all that, family history and all that. That first introduction slide, BKP, you got to look at this. There are 14 sites in the head and neck where the cancer could start. You got it?
Yes.
14. We have no idea where they're, right? All we know is it's in this geography here.
Right.
Okay, so that really doesn't help. Second, generally there's no surgical procedure if chemo and radiation therapy control the disease and the patient doesn't tell us whether they received chemo or radiation therapy. Second, radiation therapy is the thing that dries your mouth and destroys your sense of taste. Surgery generally doesn't. It might paralyze part of the tongue, make it difficulty swallowing, but your sense of taste would be pretty good again. All right.
So your numbness or your feeling could be due to the surgery, but the sense of taste is not due to surgery.
Well, generally, yes. Generally, yes, because the tongue still would be mobile.
Right.
The swallowing would be due to the surgery, the difficulty moving the tongue. You would have you see people sometimes in a grocery store wearing a T-shirt, and one whole half of their neck seems to be gone, and they've got a big old scar there, and that's from the modified radical neck dissection. You don't have a modified radical neck dissection and ever look like this and wear a normal collar. You got a big old deformity here. Well, that's part number one. 90% of, we're going to come to risk factors here in a minute, but 90% of cancers of the head and neck are squamous cell, kind of like skin, and frequently they appear first in a lymph node. And the guy says, I have a node in my neck and nothing else going on. They biopsy it as squamous cell cancer. They don't know where it came from, and then they have to look in the oral pharynx, the nose, and everywhere else. They don't see a malignancy, and some of those do end up getting a neck dissection. without having to resect anything within the head and neck. So anyway, we have not near enough information. You look down here, a lot of these head and neck cancers, that's where you get people talking with the voice box. The ones that come up here, the high parts, that would be sinuses and the oral cavity behind the tongue, the cavity behind the tongue because the oral pharynx, or then the oral cavity itself. So we have no idea where this cancer began. There's 14 sites there, so there's incomplete information. So if you'll show that next one there, just for the sake of looking at it, this is a lot easier to read. So if the people will just look at this one, guys looking out here to the left, there are 3 major parts of the head and neck region where these cancers occur. This middle zone here, called the oral pharynx, which includes the tongue. I saw a new patient yesterday who had cancer of the tongue, who has been being followed, I think, for 9 years with a condition called leukoplakia. What is that?
Yeah, really.
You don't remember?
No.
You don't remember that leukoplakia? Okay, here's leukoplakia is that condition. The dentist generally follows it. A head and neck, a ENT surgeon, a dental ENT surgeon generally biopsies it. But you remember all of those things about dip cancer and chewing cancer and the young kids
right.
with the pack, and they ended up with cancer. So back in the day where people were dipping a lot, boys were chewing tobacco because it was popular. That constant irritation of tobacco in the mouth would cause, like these sun-damaged areas on my skin here. These are all pre-malignant. And whenever you go to the dermatologist, he puts that stuff on there and it blisters up and goes away. Well, those aren't malignant. He's trying to get rid of sun-damaged skin. Well, if you can just imagine sun-damaged skin in your mouth, but that wasn't sun, it was tobacco or alcohol or HPV, which I'll show you later, that can go on for a decade with multiple biopsies, and then bang, you suddenly get malignancy. So anyhow, one I saw yesterday was in the tongue. Hopefully the guy's not going to need anything, and this is going to scare you to death. Show that chart. Be just a short look at the chart here. But before you get to the point where you have a neck dissection, and what this person had, it's way down here at the bottom in the algorithm of how you work up, evaluate, and possibly treat head and neck cancer. So I will just say, in this patient, we don't know. If that mouth was radiated, it is going to be dry for life. Those people generally will go around with a squeeze bottle or a bottle of water. The sense of taste will be diminished largely for life, but taste is divided into so many things. The ability to take acid, salt, sweet, and some of that will return over a period of a couple of years. If there was no radiation and no chemotherapy and it was totally surgical and a nerve to the tongue was cut, then that sense of taste in the unaffected portions of the tongue and mouth will probably return, if that helps. Okay, now let's get to the risk factors here. Oh, no, let's get to the head and neck cancer one here. We've gone over this once before, but in the days that when I began my training, which was 1962, it's a long time ago. You weren't even born yet, were you, BKP?
Move along.
Our head and neck cancer was largely World War II veterans who had been given free cigarettes when they were 17 years old in boot camp, and all through the World War II, every K-ration package had 3 free cigarettes in it, and they tended to drink alcohol. They were more than most people do now, and so 80 or 90% of head and neck cancers prior to the 1990s or year 2000 were related to tobacco and alcohol. I think I told you a few months ago that when we're talking about immunizations, that about 90% of cancers of the head and neck now are related to
HPV.
HPV, well, I'll be darned. So we've talked about HPV as being a cause of cervical cancer. We've talked about HPV vaccinations, which are now given to most of our adolescents in their teens. And 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about immunizations, I said that the FDA has now approved HPV vaccinations for people that are under the age of 50. So they raised the dose, raised the age up because of the epidemic of head and neck cancer. Cervical cancer, not so much now, it's head and neck cancer. 650,000 new cases of head and neck cancer, most related to HPV, much more common in men than women, 4 men to every woman, and it is an epidemic. I see a ton of it. So the last one we got, this big old one about the role of HPV, it used to be that you thought of this disease in the old people. The people I'm seeing now with it, I guess the guy I saw yesterday, I think, is in his mid-60s, but I'm seeing people now down into their mid-30s, 40s, who are having head and neck cancer. So the age group is beginning to go down, and those people are generally HPV positive tumors. Now, they respond quite well to chemotherapy and radiation, which is the preferred treatment, and generally this neck dissection you just read there is left for people who still have disease that did not get eradicated by the surgery and radiation therapy. So just go back to answer the question. Assuming no radiation, the taste should come back. The difficulty with swallowing, you should go have a speech consultation, because they will watch you swallow under a fluoroscope things at different consistencies, and then your diet may be switched to lots more pancakes with gravy, and pancakes with syrup and grits with gravy, and you would have ground meat and blended foods. Some people end up really with soft foods, and many head and neck cancer patients end up with a feeding tube because the surgery and everything, they never do get to where they can swallow right. So you should be in the hands of a survivorship program in a cancer center. We have the best survivorship program at Northside you've ever seen, and that gets speech therapy and swallowing therapy and everything else. So if you're not being seen by somebody like that, call us up and we'll take care of it. How's that?
That's good.
Is that more you wanted to know?
Again, we want to thank Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. And our second question this morning: I am starting to go through menopause. I am not sleeping well. Recently, I'm not sleeping well. Does menopause affect sleep, and could that be the cause?
Well, the answer first is yes, and the second is yes. But that question was really well written, and that is that I am not sleeping well
recently.
Recently, okay. So we are assuming that up until recently, this patient slept well. And that's a safe assumption, right? Show that first long, the 20 most common symptoms of menopause. Number 10 is trouble sleeping.
Yes.
So that's kind of way down the list. I mean, hot flashes, cold flashes, night sweats, all those are way above trouble sleeping. But go to the second one. When you go to the second one, this is two parts here. One is the scientific part, and the second one is the symptom part. So what is it that causes you to have trouble sleeping in menopause? And that is that, I'm not going to make you try and read them, but you see those two arrows? Mm-hmm. One of them says progesterone. Well, that sounds like a hormone, doesn't it?
Progesterone.
Yeah, all right. And this one says estrogen.
Estrogen, yes.
All right, progesterone causes sleep problems. Estrogen causes sleep problems related to the symptoms of estrogen lack: hot flashes, night sweats, mood disorders, bloating, cramps, nausea, headache, itchy skin, muscle tension, joint pains, and incontinence. That means urinary. That's 12 things that estrogen deficiency causes that causes you to have poor sleep. So you go back now to this 20 list, and 12 of the things on that list, the symptom interferes with the sleep. The second one is the progesterone, which is a normal female hormone, all by itself can cause you to have a sleep problem. So, how does it sound like you probably ought to be treated? Does it sound like you might want to take a hormone?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want to.
You want to put back what went away, right?
Yeah, you want to supplement what you're missing.
I'll be darned. Yeah. All right. So, frequently I have mentioned here that I believe people should have a primary care doctor. And I believe that the primary care doctor should assist you in weighing the hazard-benefit ratio of treating the blood pressure, for example, which might dry your mouth or whatever, but the side effects of the medication are far outweighed by the benefit of control of blood pressure. So now we got somebody who can't sleep, who may be having hot flashes, may be depressed and bloated and so forth. And so your primary care doctor will help you measure that hazard-benefit ratio of hormone replacement therapy. Now there was a fear, Jane would love to say the deep state, okay?
Right.
But there was a fear thing forever that if you took hormones after menopause, it would increase your incidence of breast cancer and uterine cancer and thrombophlebitis and cancer of the toes and cancer of the nose. And at the end of the day, after millions and millions of studies, absent some genetic familial tendencies, which your family doctor would be able to help you with, or your gynecologist, the benefit of hormones far outweighs the hazard. I saw another patient yesterday who was referred by an orthopedist who is a woman who was 5'6" when she married. She's 5'1" now. She's had compression fractures of her spine and a fracture of the hip due to menopausal osteoporosis, to be put on osteoporosis treatment. And all of that could have been prevented back 30 years ago if she'd started taking hormones, taking vitamin D, and what else, Josh? Going to the gym, walking and exercising. So, back to this question. Yes, menopause can cause sleep disturbance. 2, you ought not get to that point because you discussed your menopausal symptoms with your doctor, and hopefully you probably went on hormones. So now we're going to go to the last one here, and we talk all the time about sleep hygiene. And this one is a tip on, assuming that you're already on hormones or that you said you're not going to take hormones, what can I do to improve my sleep? And basically at the end of the day, these sleep hygiene things that are on that list are not secret. I mean, you don't eat fatty foods and you shut the lights off. But I've always said you don't eat in the toilet and you don't sleep in the kitchen, and so that the bedroom should be reserved for sleep and sexual activity, and that you don't watch television, you don't read books, and you don't write letters in the bedroom, so that psychologically, when you go in the bedroom, your psychology says, I'm going in there to sleep. So that's the first piece of sleep hygiene, that you go to a place that's all you do. Second, you don't have any distractions. Third, you don't all this stuff about you don't have fatty foods or things in here that are going to make you bloat. But you can go to sleep hygiene. In fact, you can go to the Harvard newsletter and look up sleep hygiene if you're deciding not to take hormones and improve your sleep. So that's more than you wanted to know about menopause and more than you wanted to know about sleep. All right, go ahead.
Okay, again, thank you, Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital. Dr. Whaley, at this time, we always like to take an opportunity to talk about what is out there in the medical world. What is breaking news, or what are things we need to, and we already heard earlier, and I know you're going to recap the pollen count. So what's going on out there?
Okay, I'm going to forget the pollen count. Put up that medical news thing. All right, so I got this is going. You can actually see this one this week, I think. Can you see that one pretty good? So the first thing on the staff is looking at out there is a piece is the liver. It was about 3 weeks ago that I began to mention that there's a hepatitis A epidemic, and you'll remember that it was in the 2 county jails here. It started in the county jail where you live, down south of the border. And there was some fear that it would be here, and they were isolating people and discussing immunizing them and everything. Yesterday I had a patient in my office whose husband recently died. She's 65 years old. She is getting ready to move into a senior facility down in Johns Creek somewhere, and she's as healthy as you or I, and she's a pickleball player and she's a tennis player, a very active woman. But when she moves in, the history was the form she had to fill out, and she had to be approved by a doctor, was has she been immunized against hepatitis A? The answer was no, and to move in there, they're requiring her to have a hepatitis A immunization. Why? Because the retirement community 2 miles away is part of this hepatitis A epidemic. And this hepatitis A epidemic is huge. It is not just in Georgia. I think it's in about 5 states. But it has become big enough so that the number one, if you look at this, the number one news item on the national news WebMD yesterday was the Georgia epidemic of hepatitis A. So I'm telling you that you heard it here first several weeks ago, and you'll hear it in the paper today. All right, so we're going to jump down here to the next one, and that is, and the hepatitis A epidemic is more common around Rome and in North Fulton County. I think Johns Creek is in Gwinnett County, but anyway, in that area, it's not just in poor neighborhoods. It's not just in the homeless. It's in real people. Now, this E. coli epidemic, there have been 17 cases of the E. coli in Georgia in the past week. You remember the E. coli epidemic? All right, so that has hit Georgia. Now and then you drop down here to the bottom, and we got the measles. There are 5 states involved in the E. coli epidemic now, and Georgia's one. So there's 5, 6, 7 states for the hepatitis and the E. coli. Well, Georgia's got both of them. I don't know if anybody else has got both. But now in the measles epidemic, you and I were talking offline before we got here about the suburb of New York that has required that everybody who is not immunized become immunized, or they are not allowed to leave their home and go into public places except public parks. So they can't go into stores, they can't go to school, they're not supposed to go anywhere that's public. They have filed a suit against the municipality because this happens to be a particularly tight-knit religious community, although there are people out in West, got nothing to do with religion, that have the same issue, and they want to be able to go to their church. But this deal about the measles epidemic, and I my wife thinks I'm crazy, and I gave you guys last week all the stuff there was to know about the immunizations, is real. It comes up to the deep state. Can you require that if people are going to go to a public school where the taxpayers support it, that they be immunized against measles and hepatitis A and whatever else it is, or not be allowed to attend the local school because of the danger they have to other people? And I'm not going to try and answer the question, but I will at least raise it here today that the 3 things we've talked about here in the last several months, and that was hepatitis A, the E. coli epidemic, and the measles epidemic, are in the top 5 news stories nationally this week. You heard it first on Fetch Your News.
Right here. Got it. Hey, we want to thank always Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. And if you would like to go back and watch it or share it with your friends, you can find it on our YouTube channel. That's FYN TV Fetch Your News YouTube channel. Just click on the playlist and find Ask the Doc, and you can send this to your friends, and all of them every week, every episode is on there. Also, if you have a question for Dr. Whaley, send that to us at info, I-N-F-O, at fetchyournews.com, and just put in the subject line, Ask the Doc, and we'll get Dr. Whaley a question. I hear our all-star panel assembled.
Yeah, but I wanted to say one thing now.
Okay.
I usually wear a tie to talk about today.
Yes.
I'm not doing that today.
Okay.
I want to talk about the very new, up-to-date millennial shirt that he's wearing here.
Oh, gosh.
He's wearing a millennial, right? I mean, is this not a up-to-date thing here? He's got the blue blazer I went to Chapel Hill or Duke on. He's got the khakis I went to Chapel Hill or Duke on. And he's got the millennial purple shirt. So if you just saw him in an airport, you'd say, oh, he's a graduate of the University of North Carolina.
Oh, my
Or he's a
gosh.
graduate of Duke University because of his sartorial splendor. And that's new. His sartorial splendor. You got that, crowd?
I just never thought sartorial
Sartorial.
splendor
Would ever apply to you?
I need my cup of water. Yes, exactly.
Very right.
100%. We'll be right back with the All-Star Political Panel.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey folks, we're back. We're here at Circuit World in Blue Ridge every Friday morning, and it's time for the All-Star Political Panel. I do not know what they're doing right now, and I'm not going to look over. We have Bruce, Rick, and Jane, and you know they're tired of hearing me say this. I wonder if we have anything to talk about. I wonder if they have anything to talk about this week.
No.
Where do we start?
I tell you.
Can we do a band phrase? Can we?
You go for it.
You know, Gutfeld on the 5, he does these band phrases. Can we always make a pact that we do an AOC free show? No AOC talk. I'm so over that little twit.
Oh, yeah, I got that. I agree. Yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
mean,
put that in the record, Josh. We got an AOC
I'm
band.
agree with that. AOC, no AOC. Okay.
How about Ilhan Omar?
We could go there because that's a danger to this country that people do not. All right,
I got a great
we
meme
already
on her.
agreed to the AOC, so I can't go back there. But
Okay, since you're the leader, we'll give you a reprieve for it. But
what I'm saying,
Rashida Tlaib.
what you're saying,
Yeah.
that woman's dangerous to this country. Absolutely. It's what she said about 9/11. Can anybody quote it or remember exactly what?
Yeah, some people did something.
Some people did something.
Some people did.
And she's in a big back and forth with that Army vet, Crenshaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy with the patch.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a meme I saw that said, she's saying, I came from a country where I couldn't say anything. I had to keep my mouth shut, and I've come to this country so I can talk and say anything I want to make it a country where you can't say anything and you have to keep your mouth shut. I mean,
Yes,
that
so we can
kinda
bring it
goes
back to a country
that.
like I left.
Right, like she left. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Sudan.
Okay,
Think
so
about it.
first of all, we know We know that the deep state media they are the defense team. They are the defense team for the Obama administration, Hillary Clinton, the deep state, because they have, if you watch out there, as you know I do, I watched Morning Joe this morning, yesterday, and they are definitely the defense team. They're running defense, and they're saying that Attorney General Bob Barr made his comments without any evidence. But really, I watched all 2.5 hours of his testimony, and I said, I think it was on his testimony was Thursday.
The Senate testimony
was Thursday.
That's what you watched, I believe.
Yeah. The House, I knew there wouldn't really be any news breaking out of the House when I think that was Tuesday. Tuesday, Attorney General Barr testified before the House Appropriations Subcommittee, supposed to be about his budget. I knew nothing would really break out of that. That's run by the Democrats. But it was the Senate, and I said this on my show Tuesday. I said this one is the one I'm paying attention to, because I want to hear Kennedy, that's a Louisiana senator, and I want to hear Lindsey Graham. I want to hear what they say, okay? And just that, they're the ones that really broke the news, and it is blown up Thursday. Now, I understand that Attorney General William Barr, is not going to give away his evidence. He's not going to give away the reasoning why he wants to look. You're not.
Why
going
show
to
your cards? I mean, it's early. It's early in the game.
He's a cool cucumber.
I agree with why show your cards, but it's just something you're not going to do because you're investigating something. So you're not going to discuss your reasons why.
Exactly.
But the media is saying that he made these accusations, and he's buying into conspiracy theory, our conspiracy theory. This is what they're saying, that he has bought into our conspiracy theory. He said what he did in fear of Donald Trump tweeting and attacking. I mean, it's everything and anything.
It's just amazing how they can take and twist words, because everybody in their right mind knows that Carter Page was surveilled. Call it spying, call it surveillance.
Yeah, legally spying.
Not to say that it was illegal. And he said that. He said, I'm not suggesting that there wasn't a predicate for what was done.
Right. But I don't know.
But I don't know, and I'm going to find out. And that's what an attorney general should do.
First inning. I mean, first inning.
Yeah.
You know what's just shocked them out of belief is that we were on the fence. I was with Barr because he was a Bushite.
I know you were, and I was just going to ask you.
And I'm thinking, give me a break. He's part of that thing. It's going to be awful. I believe that they thought the same thing. And then when he testified, he said the Muellers and the Barrs are best friends. We've been friends for years. I thought, give me a break. But what he is, and I believe Trump has shared some incredible things with him that we don't know yet, that he knows. And I believe that he is a man to follow the rule of law, and they're surprised about that. They didn't think that he was going to stand up for his country and what's right. I mean, if the rule of law told him to stand on his head, this man, I think, would stand on his head. So they are flabbergasted.
And now he's Trump's lackey lawyer.
Now he's a lackey. So
lawyer.
If people can't see through that, even the people on the left, if they can't see through that, then they're never going to see through anything.
They don't want to see through it.
No, they don't.
I mean, there's no evidence. The whole Mueller investigation started with no evidence.
That's not. But see, if you watch it, and I always come back to this. This is presumably educated people that are bringing the news to the American people on these networks.
How about supposedly biased?
And they know when a senator is pressuring you and saying, "Where's your evidence?" Hey, I happen to be. Let's get clear here. I happen to be at a appropriations subcommittee hearing, which means we're supposed to talk about why I'm buying too many Band-Aids. Okay, right? This is what I'm supposed to be talking about. I'm not going to come today and tell you all the reasoning, because that's part of an investigation. Now, throughout the time, good or bad, throughout the time of the Mueller investigation, okay, we had the leaks that made the New York Times and the Washington Post. We had the leaks.
Yep.
But what we did not have is, Mueller didn't come out and do press conferences and say, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, right?
Barr's not going to do that.
And that was respected. I mean,
right. That at that time that was respected. Now that this guy just doesn't come out and say, "This is what we have." Now, what say you on the comment of spying? You watched it. What say you on that, or all of you?
Well, I thought it was telling when Lindsey Graham made the comment about normally if the Department of Justice or the FBI understands that possibly someone is being surveilled in a political campaign, they would notify that campaign.
Espionage, a foreign entity trying to infiltrate your campaign.
They would notify that
Right.
campaign.
foreign or domestic.
Right, exactly.
Was Trump's campaign notified? Heck no. Was Dianne Feinstein notified when she had a Chinese hacker in her...
After 20 years.
Yeah,
Oh.
she was notified. And that was what was cool, because the look on her face was
I was getting ready to
unbelievable.
say, fine, if you watch, you got to go back and watch, because there were some moments that I like what Lindsey Graham did, okay? And does this still shock you when we say things like we like what Lindsey Graham said? Does it still?
I think
she
I'm
said
in
that last week. I was just said
La La
that
Land,
last
but
week.
I've said it myself.
I mean,
told
every
you
time
why
it comes
last
out
week,
of
though.
every time it comes out of my mouth, that
I
okay,
know.
let's follow Lindsey Graham's lead. Hold on.
He's terrified.
They got something on him?
They got Trump. They do. I mean,
Here's
he's
what
either doing this or he's in the capooter pan.
All
whatever you
right.
call it.
Now the media won't tell you this. I mean, and they always. I get disgusted with so many things with them, but they always talk in the tense of for the American people, like they're talking and for the American people, and they're giving the American people the information they need. And here's the thing: is the reality of what they will not discuss is, again, to be redundant. This was an appropriations subcommittee hearing. And actually, William Barr, Attorney General, had the CFO of the department there to seriously answer, this area. Is there a hiring freeze, not hiring freeze? Why are you at the 100 judges, where Trump wants 100 new judges, right, for the border?
At the border.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this actual subcommittee was designed to do. So what I really liked is the Senate Judiciary Committee. So get ready out there. That's headed up by Lindsey Graham. All right, the Senate Judiciary Committee, and that's where some things are going to break out here soon. And Lindsey Graham came into the room. All the senators were not there. They just came in at their appropriate time. He came in the room. He sat down. He laid out the FISA court warrants, right, the big stuff, very quickly, remember? And then he said, is it not appropriate to, like you said, Rick, is it not appropriate to brief a candidate, much like you did? And Barr says, yeah, I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned why we didn't do that. And I'm going to look at the genesis, okay, of this whole thing. And then Graham got up and walked out to go do other things. But he laid out some pretty powerful stuff. Did he
We all have said, I'm sorry, we all have said time and time again that anybody who's worth their salt as an attorney, if they're answering something, if they're throwing something out there, they're not throwing out there just to let it explode. They've got something behind it.
Lindsey Graham the other day in this situation is reminiscent of the Kavanaugh hearings, where he brought up treason, and haven't we executed some people for treason in this country? Lindsey Graham goes in there and sets the platform for taking off. I mean, he is setting up what's going to happen, and he did that. He did that the other day. Was that yesterday or the day before? He said, I saw it, but I just saw
Tuesday
it.
was the House. Wednesday.
When he said,
right.
What? Yeah, right. So he's the man who was on the other side, and I think it's brilliant because the other side used to love him because he was the Gang of Three. I mean, he was over there, and now, he's instrumental. I have to say.
Well, there was something. Go ahead, Bruce. No, go ahead.
Just going into the chaos of both the House and the Senate. Ed Rendell, the former DNC head, was on Fox Business this morning with Maria, and he said all this stuff with the name we can't mention and Ilhan Omar and 9/11, what she said about that. She said they're not doing anything for the people. They're talking about all these issues and they're not doing anything that they were elected to do.
They're not governing.
Legislation,
They're not governing.
Legislation is dead stop in the water.
He had a different tone on Laura Ingraham last night.
Well, another flip there, and I don't want to get off on it, is I really think some of these committee hearings hopefully are exposing the clowns that are running the college. Okay, and the
inmates running the asylum.
Well, I always like clown college. Okay, so let's stick with that.
You like what?
The clown college.
I
okay?
like
It's
mad
clown
people.
That works.
But what I'm saying is, let's look at, here you have a person that is the head of a committee that brings the corporate bad bankers up before them, which, okay, fine, and Maxine Waters starts questioning this banker on college
all of them.
All 6 of them.
Yeah, let's go with the big bank. Monahan.
College loans.
God, that was just.
By the way, you don't remember Barack Hussein Obama took over college loans? I know that.
You know, it was so brilliant. It was so much fun though to watch because they just let her go, and she went through every one of them. She embarrassed herself 6 times. So there's 6 guys sitting there.
Yeah, 7 guys.
7 guys.
7.
She embarrassed herself 7 times. What about you? We stopped making those, X amount of time. We stopped making those. There you go. And
Jamie Dimon.
And then someone.
She didn't know the answer.
The Wells
to the
Fargo
question
guy was
before she
laughing.
asked
He's
it.
going, well, we stopped that in
Yeah.
2009.
And then all of a sudden you see somebody come up and go, whispering her, and she.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't remember
You're
the
making
government took over college loans. We stopped that.
We don't
Your
do that
president-
anymore.
All right, so
Yeah, so those million kids that have defaulted, it's your problem.
And then
Which is, of course, our problem because we're paying for it.
The exchange she had with Mnuchin was just so childish.
yeah,
This is a new day and a new way, and I've got the gavel. He said, well, you going to gavel me out? Because I got to go to a meeting.
Yeah, you got to move it up and down and make some noise.
That's right.
Well, he was promised when he went into the meeting. The hearing. He notified them that he had a very important meeting he had to go to at a certain time.
He would like to leave at 3 o'clock.
He had to go at this time.
The Bahrain ambassador.
Right. Could it be done? And they understood that going in. And he's like, okay, could you hit the thing? I told you I got to be out of here. What's with you people? I mean, you're not getting the damn tax return.
6th grade stuff.
Well, I mean, she would do that automatically just to embarrass them.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, sure, anything, we'll work with you. And then,
Petty.
Couple more things on the Mueller report, and then I know we got several other subjects and whatever you want to get into. But I thought it was interesting. I like to watch mannerisms, and I watched Barr's face very closely for 2.5 hours, and I have to tell you, I like the way he gives them looks like, what the hell's wrong with you?
He is ice.
Is he? And here's the
ice.
Directed ice, man.
And was it the
You're
senator?
right.
Was it the senator from Rhode Island? I can't remember if it was, but the guy said, in the best of my memory, the guy says, spying. Well, there's going to be the cable news Echo World is going to go nuts over this. They're going to spin the word spying. Would you like another chance? Basically, what he said, right? Would you like another chance? And he said, unwarranted surveillance, if that works better in your head, right? He said, if that helps your,
choose some new words. Go with it.
If that's what you want, unwarranted surveillance. Okay, we'll go with that.
I'm glad Jane is coming around on Barr, because I remember having a conversation in here, and when his name was first introduced, you remember me telling you about the conversation at lunch, and the mutual friend of ours who was head of the chiefs of police nationwide. He was former chief of police here in Georgia. He brought in Barr to speak to their group, and he said the one thing that he remembers, and they're still friends, they still speak. The one thing that he remembers is, beyond everything, beyond relationships, he is a guy that will enforce the rule of law.
Yeah, we talked to him at lunch one day, and he just said Barr's a solid guy, just solid.
You should have emailed me. Say
I want to keep the balance here. I'm optimistic. Everything we're talking about
mildly
today,
or wildly.
Okay, everything this group and you out there, we know you keep up with it out there. we've known all this stuff for a long time. The wire, the surveillance, the spying. They made fun of Trump when Trump said they tapped Trump Tower. Wait till we see all these things come out. We get it, okay? The media is acting like this is something brand new. This is just a conspiracy, and they're buying bars buying into conspiracy, and they're running defense as hard as they can if you watch it. So the battle is now to another level. I think that's what happened this week. I mean, I for one believe we're in a battle for the country, just to save the country.
Without a doubt.
And I believe the battle is right now. It went to a new level this week. Will you agree?
It's escalating, and something's got to happen one way or the other. And the deep state has their plan, and they're pulling out all the stops. I just heard that. I heard an interview that was in the Senate or the House years ago, where they're asking the head of the CIA or FBI, one of those, or the Secret Service, heck, I don't know which one. But they said, is it true that you have a gun? Have you heard this? That your organization has a gun that shoots an ice bullet that makes the tiniest hole in a body that you cannot find. The ice melts and they have a heart attack. I think Breitbart, you know. And he said, yes, we have that. We have that. Hello. And that's why you see on the heart attacks are fatal. You keep saying that, you know. But they have that capability, the deep state, and that's just the bottom of the rung. So things have got to break open pretty clearly and soon. And I think Nunes is starting now with his eight referrals.
All right, let's go.
So
let's
it's
go
starting
there.
to come.
Let's go with Nunes. When I say I'm optimistic, but I tell you what, I'm running within the speed limit. Okay.
Oh no, that's
stay in your lane.
No, I'm staying in the speed limit because this goes all the way to Obama. Obama is not clean. So I'm wondering just how far we will go.
Yeah, me too.
I'm wondering just how far. I don't want just low-level people. I don't want to start seeing the James Comey of the world saying, I didn't know my assistant did that. All right.
So you want Obama in the middle of the circular firing squad?
Yeah, and I want to be
here's what I want. Here's what I want. Well, I want because this is the truth. Here's what I want on the hoax, the Russian hoax. Okay. We have the Paul Manafort, then we go down to Papadopoulos and
Flynn.
People just on these levels, but they didn't get who they wanted, Trump and all. On the flip side, I don't want 32 indictments of assistants. I don't want 32 indictments. Secretaries. I want I'll take just 4 or 5 top.
Big fish.
Yeah, just top. Hillary, Ben Rhodes.
Holder.
Comey. You know,
He alluded to Comey on.
But you understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm staying at the speed limit here, because I feel good. I like what I heard the other day. I like the direction. I like what Lindsey Graham said. I like the way Kennedy set up all of his questions. But let's go to Nunes and his criminal referrals. Take off.
Well, he's got 8. He's got 8 that he feels pretty confident in. He's been on Hannity forever this week, and these are referrals to the Department of Justice to look in and see if there is in fact a crime. Correct?
They can indict them.
Right. So he alluded to the fact that it's Comey, Strzok, Page, or both of them, Nellie and Bruce. I think you'll find that those are in there. McCabe for sure. Mm-hmm. That guy's taking a powder.
He practically said it. Hannity said, I know you can't tell me. I know you can't, but, and he said, well, I'll just tell you that it's people who have leaked information, leaders of organizations. So
McCabe put in his book that he was hanging his hat on, that there was irrefutable evidence that there was collusion with the Trump campaign in Russia.
What about Pencilneck? You think he's in there?
I do.
Let me say this: if you go back and you look up on the internet and you start piecing together the
speculating,
words, Well, no, piecing together the actual words that Attorney General Barr said, and I'm not quoting him, but you can go look at the quote. He said, you know, the FBI, he's looking at the FBI, he said, you know, the FBI is not bad. He's not trying, but he said something in the reference, it's a couple at the higher level.
Top ranks are
right.
Yeah,
he said that. He said that, and Barr said that, okay? So he was, you know.
Hint, hint.
Right, exactly, because Barr has also commented, and he's left the door open that he has commented that he had not, when he made the comment, I have not seen at this time the Nunes criminal referrals, but you know, when I see them, you know, yeah, we're going to look at them. We're going to look at them and see if we need to do something with them. So Barr is waiting for these criminal referrals. Barr has said top level of the FBI, right?
Barr said he basically has already assembled a team.
Right.
To start looking at this stuff.
And it really ticked him off when the guy called it a panel. It's not a panel. Oh man, he did. He said,
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah.
What did he say? It's not a panel. What did he call it?
Well, tell us about this. It's not a panel. I don't have a panel put together.
Well, what are your friends Joe and Mika saying about this?
Run a defense.
Is it?
Run a defense that Barr is Barr campaigned for the job. He wrote that unsolicited letter about me.
Okay.
So they're saying you got an attorney general that campaigned for the job.
He's an illegitimate.
On partisan lines. Confirmed.
And he has bought in. They're amazed this morning that he has bought in to our conspiracy theory. They can't believe that he's going down the road of our conspiracy theory. He can't believe. Now here's the thing. Okay, let's go here. The whole time, you know, the Mueller investigation is going on. If Trump tweeted something about Mueller or said something about the investigation, everybody was yelling that he was obstructing the investigation, right?
Yep.
Well, if our Attorney General is going to investigate the genesis of this hoax, and you have what's his name up there in New York, Schumer, and you have all these people saying Barr has to retract his statement, demanding he retract the spot. Is that not obstructing his investigation?
You're absolutely correct. It is.
Without a doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
Are they not trying to put pressure on him?
He's knowingly lied to this country, which is treason.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And
How
misled him.
about this?
Knowingly.
Just think this out. You got to run this through your mind. How about this for Nancy Pelosi making a statement that somebody's gone off the rails? Wow. Of all people, gone off the rails. Hey, we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back, and when we do, it's time for, what do you think about the arrest of Julian Assange of WikiLeaks? I'm going to ask you that.
I got
you ready?
Yeah,
you
I'm ready.
I figured. Right after these messages.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Folks, we're back here at Circuit World in Blue Ridge, Georgia on Friday morning. This is the All-Star Panel. If you're just joining us, Bruce, Rick, and Jane. We have been talking about Robert Mueller. No, not Robert Mueller. That's the Mueller report. We got to get
Bob.
that.
Yep.
Bob Barr. We got to get that.
Bill Barr.
Bill Barr. William. Let's get it to William.
It's a senior moment. Don't
William. Excuse me.
And Jillian Assange.
That's next. See, that's
Paul Julian.
We've been talking
walking on
about
his
William
line.
Barr, the Attorney General, and the spying, but we're going to switch gears right now. We're going to talk about the arrest of Julian Assange. Julian Assange, the founder and the head of WikiLeaks, has been, I think, since 2012.
6+ years.
6 years. He has been in the
Before Trump.
Ecuadorian embassy in London under asylum. The new Ecuadorian president said, "Get out." You got an eviction notice, and they came and drug him out. What say you?
Well, most people who watch in the morning here with us, they see Bill before us.
Yes.
And everyone knows I love him and he loves me. But I would like to say that Bill is so far from going down any rabbit hole that he now says rabbits live in trees. I mean,
Those are called squirrels.
he will not go down anywhere in a rabbit hole. And I'm not saying this is a rabbit hole. But the thing is, he was telling me this morning, Assange was arrested, which I already knew, and they were bringing Lady Gaga in, and he was being mean. I said, and what's your source? He said, the New York Times. I said, well, hello. You think I am reading the New York Times about anything about Assange? No. He says, well, who are you going to read? I said, I don't know yet. I need to see who's reporting on it. But the thing is that if you've been following WikiLeaks for 6 years, and I have, he was in charge at first. And personally, I think if it hadn't been for Julian Assange, we would know nothing about Hillary's issues. We would know, Hillary would be president. I firmly believe that. And we would be in war with Russia, probably. And we would be, if not already, a communist country. I believe that. So, the deep state, Hillary was quoted as saying, can't we just go in and shoot him? I have to find that quote.
No, you're right. That happened.
That happened. So,
If it hadn't been for that, Bradley Manning would still be Bradley, not Chelsea.
right, and the Bradley Manning thing, I heard Julian talk about Bradley Manning, and that's a whole nother thing, I don't know. But we have the deep state, we have a thing called MK Ultra, he may have just lost his mind. I mean, he looked horrible when they drug him out.
We've imagined 7 years not going out.
Right, I mean, give me a break.
He was living in a 300 square foot room.
Right, and I'm not
climbing the walls.
Yeah, I
That's
know
15 by 15, isn't it, or something? No,
15 by 20.
15 by 20, yeah.
So don't believe the New York Times. Don't believe anything you hear about him until we get some news from a reliable person.
And isn't that Fetcher News himself?
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, I'm in the hurry up and wait column here, and let's see what happens. The extradition hearing, I think, is May 6th, somewhere around there. It's not going to be until May. There'll be a hearing in London for extradition. But the thing that he's the alleged crimes that he's going to be extradited to the United States for is in lockstep with, at that time, Bradley Manning. If you hear the media say Chelsea, that is at one time Bradley, but he was with Bradley Manning and hacking military secrets, releasing military secrets.
Allegedly.
Okay. But here's the thing, is Manning we sent to prison, but for this, Barack Hussein Obama commuted his sentence for this, and he's out.
Yep.
So
as Chelsea. We paid for his sex change. We paid for his sex change. I mean, the taxpayers paid for it.
Yeah, we paid for the sex change.
Ridiculous.
I agree. But here's the thing: is this guy is in and he's out for what we are going to bring. See, Assange is not being brought here on charges of hacking DNC, releasing
asking
none of
Manning
that.
for a password or something.
Right.
Silly.
He's being brought here for a crime related to the same crimes as Bradley Manning, correct?
But why is the mainstream media saying this is like an assault on press freedom? They said, if the sort of approach with him had been followed, the Pentagon Papers would have never been brought to light. I miss the connection there.
There is no connection. It's misspoken.
So they're just blowing smoke.
Exactly.
Okay.
They need to read the indictment. The indictment's on the internet. Go read it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got one charge.
And what is that?
The charge is that he conspired with Bradley Manning
Right.
to help him retrieve a password
right.
with a Linux protocol that allowed him to access 4 government databases and download all that information. And the DC elite still holds him personally responsible for Hillary's failure to win the presidency, for Debbie Wasserman Schultz getting fired, for exposing that Bernie Sanders was dealt with unfairly by the DNC, all of that stuff.
Well, here's what they're calling him. They're calling him a Russian operative. Okay. Yeah, seriously, they're saying he. When they started. Go ahead.
Didn't he have a tie with Edward Snowden somehow?
Yeah. Yes.
No, maybe he did, and I'm on the fence
Is
with
it
that.
the maybe? Okay.
What do you?
He had a tie with him.
Here's the thing. The other day I heard him say that they, just yesterday, they started talking about him being a Russian operative, and they said, when he started with WikiLeaks, it was more of exposing, the dictators around the world, and now he seems to be has recently been in line with Russia with releasing these. And I'm going to tell you, when you talk about going down rabbit trails, I'm not convinced on all the DNC. I'm not convinced on everything with the DNC server and the hacking, because one, we have a server that the FBI never did get an opportunity to see. Okay.
Give me a
we have a server that the DNC did their own internal investigation, correct?
We have
and
Hillary's.
said, hey, FBI here, let's take a quick look at that server. We got it. We brought people in.
Look, I think that the one thing that they keep overlooking. And by the way, I forgot to, when I was running my mouth a few minutes ago, I forgot to say that they did release a lot of things about Benghazi as well.
Right.
That exposed a lot of the Benghazi things. We've got a young DNC man dead in D.C.
Seth Rich, I don't want him to steal that from me. That was me.
I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't letting you have that one. Oh, no way. That was my next line. I wasn't giving that to you.
Well, that's where I think a lot of the DNC stuff came from.
I was waiting. He
gave it.
I know you too well. I wanted to say that. But no, I agree. He did. I agree with you 100%.
Seth gave it to his
Exactly.
And he is a dead person now.
Yes, Rick is 100% right. Tell him who Seth Rich is. You were trying before I really
Seth Rich was a young man that was working for the DNC, that he was found mysteriously shot and killed in his DC neighborhood. No apparent robbery. He was found with all of his personal belongings still on his person.
Shot in the back.
Yeah, right. Shot in the back.
And did they call it suicide yet?
Well, there were 2 shots. Yeah. But I believe firmly, as you do, because you did the research. You talked to the investigator who was investigating the murder, who was mysteriously paid and called off, I believe.
Yes.
What was his name?
He is former homicide detective Rod Wheeler from Washington, D.C.
That's it.
And he was.
You had several conversations with him.
He was investigating it, and he was shut down. Just simple as that.
Right. The family shut him down. Correct.
Shut him down
because the family was threatened.
You got it.
Or the family got paid.
And the family
or both.
Yeah, well, the family of Scalia was threatened.
See, the thing I agree with him. It is still out there, and I know, we get accused of, as the media says, with Bob Barr looking into spying, William Barr, Bill Barr looking into spying. But anyhow, that we're buying into a conspiracy theory. But here is Seth Rich, a young staffer, DNC staffer. At this time, the corrupt Deborah Wasserman Schultz is DNC chair. At this time, she has the 2 Anwan brothers. All these stories are left alone.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And she threatened the DNC police with their budget if they did not return the computer.
Her computer that had all that sensitive info on there.
So I'm just telling you, there's so much of that, and that's why I'm saying but anyhow, this young man was a Bernie Sanders supporter. Okay.
Yep.
I always said, this is just me, I always say there was a flash drive driving that pocket that night, and that where did the DNC emails really come from? Did they make it through Russia? I don't know. Maybe they did. Did Julian Assange get them from Seth Rich? Did he dump them? I don't know.
Didn't Julian Assange in that one-on-one meeting with Hannity?
He told him it was
basically said that he did not. He was pointing the path
to
Seth Rich.
Right. I thought you said the opposite.
No.
Yeah, he did.
Right, so
Julian Assange was pointing the path to Seth
and
Rich.
what I've read is that Seth Rich was a Democrat, but what he saw I have heard some of the video, not seen it, but a video that is so egregious, that is so unbelievable on Hillary Clinton, that he could not live with it.
Well, no, wait a minute. You're right. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter.
Yeah, I mean, he said this
working for the DNC
is beyond the pale, and I am going to stop this. And when y'all see, if you don't know what he was talking about, you will not want to believe it.
What I feel is he's working. You got to put the pieces together, and to the puzzle. And it could be right or wrong, but you got to remember, this is right in the time frame that it was discovered with these emails. It was discovered that the DNC rigged, and Donna Brazile, the questions, and the DNC rigged with these special delegates,
super delegates.
Yeah.
The whole thing was stacked against Bernie. So you got to understand, this young man is in there. This is my assessment, and he's reading that his candidate, it was totally stacked, and how corrupt, and he's seeing this stuff. That's my thought. But let's go past him for just a minute with Julian Assange. The media is going to run with Assange, Julian Assange. They're going to run with the spy that we have bought into. But what we got coming out next week is, what are they going to do with Mueller's report? Now, already they know they're going to get a redacted report. And I will tell you this, Kennedy did. Anybody out there that wants to understand why it's going to be redacted, if you're a little confused on that, there's nothing wrong, and you don't know exactly why, go look on YouTube. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy questioned Attorney General William Barr, and I don't know why I can't get Mueller and Barr separated this morning, but if you'll look that up and listen, it's only 6 minutes long. They laid out why it's redacted, exactly why it's redacted. Okay?
Well, it's pretty simple why they redact things. I
understand, but I will say this: if you're watching the media, you don't know it's clearly, and he breaks it down. So Mueller report comes next week. What say you? What is the media going to do next? What do you think we're going to see?
Well, I think that Barr is going to release, that he's going to be able to release, following the rule of law, enough it's going to be a small explosion that is then going to a chain reaction, and it's going to open up avenues that are going to open up the hydrogen bomb, the nuclear bomb, the whatever you want to call it,
neutron bomb.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you're the oil man, and I think if we don't get Hillary in jail, and people say it'll never happen, I disagree. Because now we have the emails clearly stating she had this server, she knew she was breaking the law, blah blah blah. Then we're in trouble. We're done. If it doesn't start this chain reaction, and I believe it's going to, so he's going to tell us enough.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay. I went on too long.
No, that's okay. No, you didn't.
Notice Barr's been very clear and concise in his affirmation of the fact that he's working in concert with Rosenstein and Mueller's group.
They're sitting side by side.
Perfect.
Sitting side by side.
Yeah, they were sitting
He even
side
looked
by
to
side.
his staffer for affirmation that
did.
he's not doing this in a little cubicle all by himself.
They got a table.
in a partisan
if you picture
way.
it, they got a table. You got somebody from the special counsel staff. you got the Department of Justice, and they're flipping
And I
pages
can imagine the DOJ
You mean
says,
it's not Barb just sitting there with white out?
yeah,
No,
okay,
not Barb, that's right.
what color do we,
Rosenstein has a wire on
And I
though.
think what you're
what
going
color
at,
do we apply to this
Absolutely.
redaction so that we can correctly tell the public why this is blacked out? Were they part of the grand jury? Were they, which protocol that we have to follow by rule of law do we want to, he's even taken it one step, instead of just doing a blanket redaction and letting the chips fall, he's taken it one step further and taking all those little pockets and color coding them. So there's no question about it. And he's not doing it by himself, and he's made that very, very clear.
there's 4 different levels, and I don't have that right now, and Rick is 100% correct. The Attorney General, they're color coding, and they're also going to write an explanation.
Right.
So if they take something out, it's going to be right there. You're going to have a copy that says this is redacted because. So it's not going to just be redacted. It's going to have explanation. And I think because they wanted to make it look like everything so far, okay, is going to be done by Barr under a cloud of suspicion, and he's going to make it look like the way he wants from the White House. He cleared that up, and just to be redundant, you're 100%, he cleared that up, that the Department of Justice is sitting here, and members of the council, special counsel, are sitting here and redacting. Go ahead.
And it doesn't matter, because the mainstream media and all the think groups are going to find the words in there. They're going to second guess it. They're going to put other thoughts in there, and they're going to find, oh, here there was definite collusion. Here there was some sort of backdoor agreement. They're gonna do that. I mean, it's coming.
So who was it that we need to keep playing over and over? It was either Schumer or that guy with the square face, Nadler. Back in the day with Clinton.
That's Bullfrog.
Bullfrog Nadler.
I call him
Nadler. We must keep it. It cannot be exposed. We cannot allow anyone to see this report. They need to keep playing that. They're playing it, but they need to play it a little more, I think. So, that's hypocrisy. That's not my big hypocrisy for the week, but that's...
Well, here's a sad note, is our government, these should be people that they have security clearances, they're sworn to secrecy, they take an oath when they go on these committees. Here's a sad note, is we should have people in our government that should be able to take this report unredacted, look at it, and honestly not leak it. But we know, they're going to leak it. And that's a sad state of affairs of where we're at.
Barr was asked directly whether he thought it would be leaked if they,
yes.
And he said, hello.
Yeah, that's a
same thing with Trump's tax returns. If they ever get them, they will be on the street in a day.
And you know where you got that hello? From his facial expression.
Exactly.
Remember? He looked like, really? You're asking me if they're going to leak? Right? Exactly. That's what I was saying.
One of his rare...
Go ahead.
Can I switch real quick?
Switch.
The Virginia 3 and Joe Biden, have they been rehabilitated?
Man, that was... You heard the brakes, pump the brakes there. No, I don't think so.
You don't hear anything about it. And Joe is he's getting a pass.
Huh?
He's getting a pass. Joe,
I hope he's the candidate. He's going to get smushed.
That whole thing was contrived to take
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was contrived to take the emphasis off the governor by casting the lieutenant governor, and then it was taken off the lieutenant governor by casting to the next guy down.
The attorney general.
I mean, the whole thing was just so contrived. It was amazing.
Okay, our pet of the week should be coming through the door any minute. So what we want to do is, if you have a subject, and this is the time so there's no confusion here. If you have a subject we have not talked about, which Bruce, that didn't count, you can go into it again. And you have a winner or a loser this week, you can do that. So who wants to go first?
Can I just take a subject and then we'll do whatever we want?
Go for it.
This is not my thing. I thought Rush Limbaugh made a brilliant point this week. He said, for 2 years the Dems have been running their mouth on 2 major lies. One, that Trump was colluding with the Russians and he would be found guilty. The other major lie is that we do not have a border crisis. It's all made up. Those 2 lies were turned over. The mainstream media is now acknowledging that we do have a border crisis, and Mueller came out with a report that said no collusion. So now they're filtering down, taking Assange, and now that's what they're hanging their hat on. The Julian Assange is working with the Russians, and they're trying to tie it now back to the Trump campaign. That's the big package, and that's what's going to be going forward, in my humble opinion.
Ecuador case.
All right, well, let me ask you this question. I know I wanted to break that up, but that goes, wait a minute, but that goes, no, you opened something up that, let me ask you this question. What next? Because the media, do you think that Adam Schiff, seriously, and Nadler and all these Democrats that are privy to information, they get information we don't have, and Warren out of Virginia, are we really saying that? All right, they watched all the way through, and when the report, they got the summary, it's everything they hung their hat on is blown out of the water. Now they're asking to see an unredacted. What happens when they're blown out of the water on the report?
They're going to lurch to the next big subject, and they got a whole handful. They got the election, they got Medicare for all, they got Green New Deal, they got situation going on with North Korea, they got the China tariff thing. They'll just latch on to some other big issue.
I will say this on the border, they're taking the word crisis, yes. They're acknowledging there is a crisis on the border, yes. But they have flipped it to a humanitarian crisis.
That's correct.
They've gone to humanitarian. And what happens when it's a humanitarian crisis? Then the UN enjoys it. You know, nothing like a good humanitarian crisis to get the UN involved. So the media is going. There is a crisis at the border.
But last
Did you
night,
hear the border guy this week? He said they have picked up, with all these people coming in, 51 different nationalities.
Yes, Chinese, Middle Eastern. Yes, yes.
And that was
Indians,
wasn't that the
Pakistanis.
Obama appointee?
Yeah.
and did you hear they
51.
picked up over 6,500? They found skeletons and bones, and that have people, pardon me, come across the border, and the hypocrisy in that, which is not my big hypocrisy thing. The hypocrisy in that
Stand by for the big one,
is that
folks.
they're saying as a humanitarian thing, let them come through. The traffickers bring them in just to get them in, the kids, just so they can get across, and then they set them out in the desert with a little bit of water, and they die.
Yeah.
And they're harping on humanitarian, and Trump opened that talk up to the media to let the people.
Well, you know,
so it's all just unbelievable.
I agree 100%. They've switched it to an humanitarian crisis, but we also have evidence that they're sending back messages to bring the kids. The word is getting back. Bring
Take
kids.
a kid,
and they stopped
Any kid.
They stopped.
right.
That's just.
They stopped a Honduran man with a 1-year-old baby that admitted it's not his kid.
And they take the kids, and then they go back, and then they take one child had been brought over like 6 or 7
Yeah, they hand him off the
times.
border.
They
Here,
hand
take him
them
back,
off.
send him back.
Yeah.
Take him back, send him.
That's just.
And we know.
It's our token catch and release.
We know, sitting
This
here,
is my hypocrisy.
construction-wise, time-wise, getting permits, whatever it takes, we know that Trump has not had enough time to build these detention facilities. And we know when we see all the video and stuff of these detention facilities with these so-called cages, they were built during the Obama administration.
Doesn't matter.
And I understand, but Trump did not build those. okay?
Exactly.
And their
Exactly. But he's
detention-
separating families
their
much more
detention
aggressively
areas.
than was on the books. And that's one of the things they're going crazy
All right,
about.
Bruce, go to you. What do you got?
Okay. I won't go into other subjects, just like my home
And I want to
run.
remember this week, I'm going to use
Home
the
run.
Virginia 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Home run. Liz Smith, the director of nursing at a hospital in Massachusetts, ended up adopting this 5-month-old girl who was a crack baby. And she said she was in the hospital because she had real serious, postpartum issues, and nobody came to visit her for 5 months.
Not one visitor.
Not the birth parents, nothing. So she fostered her, and she got final approval to adopt her. I think it's a great story.
That's a great winner.
That is.
Yeah. My air ball.
That's good.
I'll go with that, okay.
Okay. I-75 at a rest stop. There were 3 young teenage girls who had showered. And
Who had what?
they had showered at a rest stop.
Showered in.
And they went outside and they were air drying.
They were applying suntan lotion, right?
Yeah, air drying,
Naked.
completely naked. So the police pulled up and said, "What are you girls doing?" You know, and like one thing led to another. They jumped in their car, took off. There was a chase. There were spikes. They wouldn't get out of the car. At the end, they got tasered.
Naked. Taser.
Was that
Teenagers.
Was that your winner of the week?
No, that was my
airball.
airball.
I don't know.
You know, you
That's
can't
a
make
lizard.
this stuff up.
I mean,
what-
you took a shower, came out, and air drying. I was just wondering if that was.
Well, I mean, who thinks like that? I mean, they're completely
Yeah, they
naked.
must
You know,
have been.
nubile young teenagers. It's like
On
crazy.
something. They were on something.
So anyway,
Who thinks like that? I got to remember that too, because that is like I go through the whole week and I read all these articles like, okay, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Rick, what's
My loser of the week was going to be Avenatti, but you touched on that early. Mr. Avenatti, who's been on CNN how many million times, is now facing 343 years in jail for 36 felony counts. But my actual loser is going to be Stacey Abrams, who's now being investigated by the new Ethics Committee chairperson that took office on Monday for campaign violations. She is going to be
in a recent government run.
Yes, yeah, and the recent yeah, exactly. That's my loser. My winner, hands down this week, Candace Owens, who set an all-time C-SPAN record for viewings for going after California Representative
Beautiful.
Ted Lieu, for Ted Lieu taking something totally out of context to try to derail her.
Yeah.
And she absolutely made mincemeat out of Nadler and Ted Lieu, both.
Mincemeat. She
Her-
should be in the Senate or the House. She's got it right.
Her opening monologue was brilliant, defending the blacks and how they're treated by the Democrats, and then the piece that Ted Lieu played with his cell phone over the microphone, and he was just excoriated. That's my winner of the
There was
week.
something about Hitler, right? That like it was out of context.
Yeah. He alleged that she was saying that Hitler was a nationalist, and it was totally taken
It was
out of
okay.
context.
It was okay to be a nationalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what she was trying to say is, you know, it's okay if you're a nationalist, you know, and he took it out of context. And I will say just on that before, Jane, you get to your hypocrisy, that you're just waiting there, tapping your fingers.
I'm being really good.
I know you are. But how about is it Omar? Is that
Yeah, Ilhan Omar.
sending out a tweet saying that Stephen Miller is what is she? Go for it, Rick. Hey, boy, he's hanging on.
He's a Nazi.
Stephen Miller was a white
Nazi.
nationalist. The guy is, as I'm not even going to say what you said. The guy is so Jewish. He's Jewish. They don't.
Rick, I understand. I mean,
they don't cross paths. They don't. There's no correlation there.
Stephen Miller is very, very Jewish. And let me tell you why they don't like Stephen Miller, because a lot of people don't realize, just to touch on that, Stephen Miller was communications director for Michelle Bachmann, back when Bachmann, and he's only 33 years old. He was communications director for Michelle Bachmann when she was a representative in Minnesota. He was communications director, I think that's the title he had, for Senator then Beauregard, Jeff Sessions, and then he went with the Trump campaign. And if you look with Donald Trump's administration, he was there on day one, and he's still there. Stephen Miller's still there, and the president, but she comes out and says white nationalist. Go ahead.
Okay, I hope I can get this in line. The hypocrisy of the week that's been all revealed is that the Democrats want to release the immigrants into our society, and they never come back. That's the big deal. We're inhumane, you know all that. So what they did was, I've just learned yesterday, you probably already know it, they voted against the administration adding beds so they can keep all these people coming into the country comfortable. That's the first thing. But the worst thing is that evidently Trump and his administration floated, and I think this was all a ploy and a brilliant one, floated, we're going to take these immigrants then, we don't have room here because we don't have enough beds. We're going to ship them to the sanctuary cities because they're sanctuary cities.
They had a fit. You cannot do that. You can't send them. It will disrupt the city. It's not fair to the city. How hypocritical. That's hypocritical.
Hypocritical.
How hypocritical. It's early. It's too early.
It's okay.
How hypocritical.
You're rolling. Keep it going.
Is that? I mean, in 2 or 3 levels, it's so blatantly hypocritical that I stomped around in the kitchen this morning getting ready to say that. Planning it.
Stomped around the kitchen.
Got to be a song there.
Exactly.
I don't think anything rhymes with kitchen.
Kitchen stomp. Dun, 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 dun.
Really, I do. My blood boils. It really boils. This is just so obvious, and people blindly.
You got a winner, or you just want to?
No, that's it. I'm the hypocrisy patrol.
You got to remember, the media is the weapon of mass deception.
There you go.
Oh, great. Candace Owens is my winner for all time. She can be president when she's
WMD.
When she grows up. I mean, that woman is
What's the word that Trump used twice this week?
Treason.
Thank you. Hey, folks, we got to get ready for our Pet of the Week is here, and our all-star political panel. Something very. I just want to say something here. Now, this week, the media does. They cut things off and they put little 30-second pieces together to give you the impression that something went one way. I just want to reiterate. The other day, the Attorney General was at an appropriations hearing where you discuss your budget. So everybody took an opportunity to not discuss budget for the most part. They took an opportunity to discuss, for the most part, the Mueller report and why he wrote his summary in 4 pages. Okay? Let me say this. You don't hear this. Attorney General William Barr said, I will be glad to come back and answer those questions. I will be glad. So all the comments they're making, Attorney General William Barr said, I will be glad to come back. And he will. When he was asked, hey, are we going to flip a page and then have like 14 pages redacted and we're going to look through there and not understand what really happened? I'm not quoting him, but he put a little grin on his face and he looked at that senator and he said, oh, you'll know what happened in that report. Just go look it up. He said, you'll know what happened in that report. And all this stuff about the spying and things, he kept saying, I'll be glad to come back. So don't forget that. The other thing is they keep telling you every single day, okay, did the president see this? I mean, they make these bold things. Did the White House get to look at this? Did they look? Were they briefed? He said, I'll be glad to come back and ask all those questions. Let me just tell you, the executive branch has a right to look at it. They don't tell you legally. The executive branch absolutely gets to look at what they want. They don't share that with you. Okay? They make it look as though it's something, is it nefarious? Is that the word I'm looking for? Like it's something underhanded.
Criminal.
That Trump did something criminal, nefarious, underhanded, and Barr went up there and snuck them a copy. Why don't you look at the law, folks, and what they legally can do? Hey, so we're going to get to the Pet of the Week, and right after these messages, and don't forget, he said, I'll be glad to come back and answer those questions. I'm your host, BKP. Treason, they say.
Just wait.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
8 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Crusher. Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host BKP, and it's time for the Pet of the Week. We're from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Who do we have here, Rena?
This is Zebo. Zebo's about 5 months old, I believe. He's obviously looking for a home. I think he's been on here before. We had him and Rachel and Grace, and I forget the other one's name.
This is one of the puppies?
Yes, these are the puppies that came with the healer. There was 2 healers in them, and so there is some healer mix. Maybe a little bit of Jack Russell, we're really not sure. But anyway, he's looking for his forever home. He is a great dog. Of course, we're teaching sit and basic commands. But,
and I'm messing it all up.
Yeah, he is.
When you bring the puppy, you have to go back and say like, oh, well, we just
He's totally messing it up. But he really is a great dog. He'll play, and then he'll just relax for a while. Zebo.
Zebo.
Come here. Oops, I got this on you.
Here. Sit.
Good boy. And obviously he'll probably get neutered next month, I believe. So if you come out this month, it'll still be foster to adopt until he's neutered, and then the adoption will be final. He would be great with kids. He plays now with
include me.
Yes, or big kids. He plays well with the other puppies. We can't put him with a big dog for obvious reasons, but with the other puppies, he's really good. He sleeps, he rides well in the car. He has a lot of energy. He is a puppy. If you're going to adopt a puppy, you have to remember there is energy. So if you're not ready for the energy, you're not ready for a puppy. But he really is a good dog. A fenced-in yard would be great, because then you don't have to worry about always having to walk them. You go outside and you play with them, and they don't run off. So these were the ones that were they were found. We found the one scout, and then we ended up finding 7 of them. And everyone's been adopted except Zebo here. So come on out and see Zebo. Come play with them. We're at 171 Mineral Springs Road in Blue Ridge, which is just off of Aska. Call us at 706-632-4357. Visit us on Facebook and go to our website, humanesocietyofblueridge.org. And come out and see our wonderful dogs and cats and kittens that are looking for homes.
I missed all that.
I know you did. You always do.
Well,
but he really is a good dog.
Yes,
he's a wonderful playmate.
I do see a great opportunity for a family. Yes. I tell you what, if you got kids, this is the family. This is your family pet. Okay, wait a minute.
He walks well on a leash. I forgot to say that one too.
Be real calm.
That's not going to work very long.
Get your.
He is a puppy. But for what he just did, that was very good for being a puppy.
Zebo, you are a great guy. You are. Let's find Zebo's forever home. Get over here. Let's do.
Show him their pretty face. Pretty face. Little Dalmatian dots on his ears.
So let's find Zebo's forever home from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. And don't forget, you can go to their website, humanesocietyofblueridge.org, and you can also go to their Facebook page, Humane Society of Blue Ridge, and let's find Zebo his forever home. And did you already give all your information? Did you tell
I believe
them
I did.
You did
everything? I did say where we were, the website, Facebook, and the phone number. We're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 2. We are closed Tuesdays and Sundays.
If you would like to share this beautiful guy here, a great family pet, with your friends, you can always go to our Facebook, our YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetch Your News YouTube channel, and click on the playlist and come up with Pet of the Week, and all of our pets are there, and you can show your friends. I want you to come and get this great guy and take him home for your kids today, or maybe this kid here. Don't forget, we'll be back in the office Monday morning at 8 a.m. Good morning from the office every Monday morning. And we've been at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, Georgia this morning. We'll see you. Let's go. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back Monday. Thank you very much, Rena. Thank you, Zebo. Thank you.